Obviously, this small expense coverage is important to you. We've received your request for the coverage. Let me ask you, why is it so important to you? Who is it you're trying to cover? Who is it that you're concerned about when you're gone? And you ask those questions in no uncertain terms. And it's really important that you ask the questions, the words themselves, the way you ask it, the certain words you use. You don't need to be robotic and ask it the same way that I would ask it. Okay, it needs to be natural. But what you're soliciting here is a response from your client to tell you specifically why it is that they need this coverage. Okay, because I'm going to tell you, and once I've verbalized to you, I'm sitting here, I'm your client, and once I tell you I need this because when I'm gone, my daughter Jan is, she's all alone, and I don't want her to have to be burdened with having to figure out how to pay for my final arrangements. She works at, Jack in the Box, for God's sakes, and she's not going to be able to come up with $5,000 or $10,000 to take care of it. So, let alone whatever else she's got. So, that's what I'm concerned about. I just don't want to be a burden upon her, my only daughter whenever I'm gone. Okay, there's an answer. Okay, because if I just told you that's my reason for buying, okay, then you're not going to leave here today without me having some coverage. The only thing that stands in the way of me getting coverage, because you're out here, is can I afford it? Okay, which comes to the second part of our ask and assure. So once I've asked, okay, and I've kind of gotten that answer, now let's stop there. Okay, ask, because it's very specific. Okay, you need your client to verbalize to you. You can't ask a question. You can't ask that question again. Well, we've been thinking about it and just kind of want to take a look. That is not an answer. That is not the reason why Mr. Jones wants to get coverage. There's a reason why he sat down and filled that out. You need to get them to verbalize that reason to you. So, yeah, we've been thinking about it and want to take a look at it. Not enough of an answer, because that's not him telling you why, and it's not him getting back in touch with the emotion of why it's important to him. So he needs to remember that. Okay, and again, it could have been 2 days ago, it could have been 2 years ago when he filled it out. And over those 2 days, things have changed. The emotion may have not has been as high. So you need him to verbalize that to you. So it's very important. So you can't get past that point. Okay, ask and assure. You can't get past the ask until you've got a sufficient answer. And the second part of that is assure. You simply come back, and it's a very simple statement. Okay, Mr. Jones, I understand your concern about your daughter Jan. We're going to make sure that we take care of that for you today, and we're going to make sure we find something that fits within your budget. Okay? Mr. Jones is going to say what? Okay. Because after expressing to you my reason for getting this, that my only concern as your client is, can I afford it? Of course I would get this. If it was absolutely free, I'd sign up for it yesterday. Okay? But it's something that's important to me that I just told you this, that I need to get this. It's important. It's important to me and my family. My only concern at this point is it something that's going to cause me a burden financially? And that's where the assure comes in. And so that's really the part of the most important parts of your systematic in-home insurance. Those are the two key components, okay? Obviously, there's some things leading up to that, and there's some things after that. But those are the most crucial parts of it. And if you can screw up the rest of it and get these two things absolutely right every single time, and I can promise you 8 out of 10 times at the minimum, you're going to walk out with an application. So it's very important that you do that. It's very important that you ask, get a full response, and then you assure your client. So it's been, I get a lot of times I've gotten calls from agents out in the field and say, gosh, man, I've talked to 4 people today. Man, I've been doing great with the door knocking. I went out and talked to 4 people today.